What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex here from Team Generations, and today we're actually going to be doing a commentary on a match play video between me and my buddy Aiden, who was actually joined here today.
How's it going?
So yeah, we actually played what was this, a match of, so best 2 out of 3 of Vairina versus Bastion, yeah, for Keter Sanctuary, and ended up being a decent game. So I figured, we got some time, why not just like record and kind of speak through the game. Now this is just post-festival collection. We're not proxying the set 2 stuff. We do kind of try that online a little bit, but right now just physical cards. I kind of like to play just with what we have, and even though the new cards are right around the corner this week, like if you are going to locals this week, oh god, it looks like I dropped my entire hand there.
That's why we play with the physical cards, muscle memory for shuffling, so this way we speed it up for events.
But yeah, I mean this is the week to grind to really earn your store credit for those set 2 packs and whatnot. So most tournament eligible stuff is not legal until the actual Friday, so we're just sticking with this for now. But ended up being a decent match overall from what I remember, right?
Yes, a bit grindy than this matchup's supposed to go for both of us, but if I remember correctly, there's some fun stuff that happens.
Yep, and I think I did go first there, so I drew for turn. Have that Vairina arcs in hand, which is nice. I think I had like a couple different grade 3s in my hand. That was like my 3rd one or something like that, so I just decided, hey, I'm going to ditch it. But yeah, pretty simple turn, just passing it right over. Nothing really else crazy to do.
Whereas for me, I believe I had a plethora of 3s, and I was deciding what was ditchable. Oh, I kept them all. Went into the ride line to draw a card and call a trigger the next turn. Can't wait.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like you had horrible luck the whole set with that. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah, I damage out that Vairina, but I drew into another one. Plus, I can get another one from the ride chain. So not really too worried about that overall. Is this where I took that pack and said I'm going to dump a Vairina? I'm not 100%, maybe not, but yeah, just getting out that Trickstar now. So if you guys haven't seen the profile, I did get lucky enough to pull one of these out of the case. So I am rocking just one of those DSRs. Pretty easy overall. I used to, when I first started playing this deck, I'd leave Trickstar in the front just to, be able to potentially hit a trigger swing with it to just put a little bit more pressure. But as time went on, like obviously people are trying to attack that a lot and just get that out of there, because that really starts the whole entire turn for Dragon Empire. So, alright, cool. And yeah, I did go into the Vairina arcs, which is, the most ideal play pretty much for your grade 2, getting that extra 5k, as well as drawing 2 cards. This deck just runs through hand like none other, and I think in this game you're going to see that really come into play. So this draw 2 is absolutely massive, and this guy gets the +2 when it attacks, so we are going to get to swing with 12k. Let's see, you take it. Alright, I do get a crit there, and I'm going to give the power over to the arcs, making it a 25k, and I don't think you hit a trigger there.
Nope, 2 3s.
Yeah, it makes it really, really difficult. So starting off at a tough point for you, really, but overall, yeah, Bastion does run through resources too. I mean, Alden's the order card if you play it, Counterblast too, which is really big. Alright, looks like you ditch a little shield there.
The shield, meaning I probably have what I need in hand, and I get to call a trigger off the top of my deck.
Every time.
Every time.
When I know it's not really
crit,
in frame, yeah, but that one's the crit. That's the lethal force right there. Alright, cool. A nice little swing.
I believe I swung into your rear guard, specifically to keep your counterblast low for your grade 3 turn.
That was a smart move, because I mean there really is like a decent field buff with the Nirvana. So yep, looks like I just you do pass. I was a 1 to pass and you do pass over that. Yeah, that really hurt. Alright, cool. Let's see what I'm gonna ditch there. One of the Vairinas, because we're gonna get one anyway. Into it with the Soul Blast and search it out of the deck again. Vairina ended up being like the real hidden MVP. I didn't kind of realize in the beginning of the game, but I mean Valiente, I've said it before, it's just kind of like a trap. You really want to sit there, you want the potential and the threat of that multi-attack, and unless your opponent's hand is like 2-3 cards, I half the time don't think it's worth it. So in set 2, I might take it out all together. Right now I'm just trying like a 2-2-2 of like almost everything, not everything, but I'm trying 2 of it in my deck, 2 of like the new grade 3 monk and whatnot. I feel like I just have to try it, and then moving forward based on what I've tested right now, I think I'm just gonna cut it. So yep, and here's what I'm talking about, like the hand's whole annoying thing. It's just once you take out some of your rear guards, you just run through your hands. Like you need to get that overdress ability off, and essentially that is the way to do it. So let's see, looks like I'm swinging with my Vanguard. It's just 13, so that makes it a 2 to pass right there, right? 1 and 2, no pass at all, no triggers. And this guy is just a 20k, and at this point it's smart because I know you did call a trigger obviously, but it's not worth me soul blasting to kind of remove it and set you back just for a 5k. So yeah.
And now this is where Bastion gets all of its momentum. You ride into 3, hopefully call down a board, swing for 30k lines if you're lucky. I don't think my hand is as healthy as I'd like, so I think I just owled in and called down another 3. Try and conserve shield in hand.
Yeah, what's interesting too is that even if you do have a lot of grade 3s, it's not bad to put them on the field, because if you do, hit a draw trigger, whatever it is, and you put it, what is it, the grade 3 card that essentially makes you guard, you can either put them on field preemptively in order to hit that guard minimum, like the 5k threshold, or you can have them in hand and dump them in the Guardian Circle. Once they're dumped in the Guardian Circle, I mean, they're gone. Whereas, you're doing this right now, putting them on the field, you're at least having the field presence, and like, it actually is a bit more conserving in the long run. So it's a really weird mechanic, but I think I've noticed some like good Bastion players kind of do that. Odd dynamic, but this is a 13k, pretty vanilla swing right there.
15.
15, right. Was this 20, 30, right? No, this is 20 initially. This is the 5. Yeah. Alright, because 2 from Bastion, 5 from himself makes him 20. Where was the other 10 coming from? Refluke, so it was 30. It was 30. Okay, and you did hit a grade 3 right there, which is nice. So we are able to restand. And I'm at 3 damage. He is at 3 damage as well. Oh, and I think you misunderstood. Like, I took that 1 damage. This is where I had to take it again. Yeah. So this is 40 now, or 45 because of the skill. I forget.
It should be 40.
40, right?
Oh, no, 45 with the additional 5 because it's on each attack, barring that I have 3 3s, which I do.
Yep. It's actually a pretty crazy skill. That card is so good.
Card carries the deck. Possibly carrying the nation, because I have seen certain Hex Orbalists try to squeak it in. I really don't have the counter charge, but who am I to tell you no?
Alright, cool. So now we go into the Nirvana. I was able to Persona Ride, so my front row is getting that 10k, which is nice. And here I just kind of like, this is the critical mistake in the game. Really dumping 3 cards from hand to get off a 23k, 33k attack. Potential restand, like, he's just in a position, I think, with his hand where I should not have done that, but I felt like my back was almost to the wall with some of my defense in my hand, and yeah, just really, I think, made the wrong call here. So let's see, this is going to be 20k to the front row, no triggers there, right? Nope. If I left it on another Vairina, I think it would have just been like 40k, which is almost better.
I'm retiring my Dark Strain so I can't boost. That actually did set me back. I don't think I have another one in hand.
I think in this game you had another one in your hand or something. But that was my whole line of thought. I was like, oh man, if I let him boost with these grade 3s, I'm just gonna have higher columns overall. So I went with the choice to just get rid of that instead of the 5k gaining Alden. Alright, my last guy, aka the Trap. There we go. Yep, 1 card to guard. All 3 cards out of my hand, so super neg. Ugh. Alright, there we go. Persona Rides for everyone. And I have to clear mine out. Perfect.
I did.
Drew it off
Persona
this one you
Ride.
had.
Okay.
Very nice. Overall, yeah, it's not the most threatening turn, period, for Bastion, but still, I mean, like a mundane turn, especially on a Persona Ride, for a Bastion deck is just, it's really nice numbers overall.
Don't lie to the people. It's the crit that's putting all the pressure on.
Just like the squirrel in it's so chill.
It's those unassuming units, man. You gotta keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, my hand was just kind of not great at that point. I don't think keeping those cards in hand would have really saved me, but...
Well, it was what? 25, 25, potential restand for 30 with a 15k boost.
So do you like boosting on the first or second attack?
See, I feel like Bastion kinda has to be played greedily, so not boosting for the first 2, even if I don't get it, like I do not here, the threat of the restand pressures my opponent into overguarding.
Gotcha.
Because if I do get it, now it's massive, whereas the first one you had problems to guard with.
Gotcha. Yeah, and like I said before, my hand I don't think was great with shield, so I figured, alright, let me at least try to put down the pressure with Valiente. Maybe he doesn't have a lot of shield, but, you know, it didn't work out for me, and he was able to, I think he critted me there for the win, right?
Yeah, it was a 1 to pass, and I got a crit and PG off the drive check.
Yep. So, there we are. Alright, so that was game 1. Let's hop right into game 2. Alright, game 2 rolling out over here, so I think I kind of learned my lesson from game 1. Let's see if I can actually put it into practice with game 2 over here, but overall, I mean, still felt like a decent game. Just expended a lot from hand, and I think that's the issue in most matchups. If you can conserve and just really hold out and really do what Vairina does best with at least set 1 and festival collection stuff, you should just have hand advantage and really just last a little bit longer. So it looks like I still went first. Yep, you attacked me there. Perfect. You did hit a front trigger there, so 1 trigger out of deck is always good. Discarding for the ride. We're going to go into my grade 2 and get out that Trickstar.
Also, the discard of the Valiente early, I feel like, is...
salty, baby. I had 1 in my hand. I was like, you know what? I don't want to even be tempted by you. Let's get this out of my hand.
I mean, that's fair. Early, it's a dead card, too, so...
Yeah, I always end up, I feel like, with a couple in my hand, so I'm like, alright, this gets a little clocky, but... Cool, got the arcs again. Again, this is like the ideal. Like, you always want to see arcs for your grade 2 turn. Just puts a little bit more pressure on. I like to swing with my Vanguard first just to make that 25k, because even if you do hit a trigger here, it's typically at least a 15k 1 card to guard kind of shield. So, don't know what you damaged
it looks
there,
like a PG.
It is? Okay, yeah. So that's decent for me. Perfect. Alright.
And now I get to discard a grade 3 to call a trigger.
What you know, we joke about it, but it's literally every single time. Like, it really is insane, actually. Yep, just like clockwork. I know it's kind of cut off there.
What do we get?
It is a crit, but it's a different flavor crit, so it's okay. It's just a different flavor.
This, I believe, I swung rear also, actually. Just the counterblast starving seems to work. Oh, feels bad every time.
But I mean, it does make my first grade 3 turn like a lot less impactful, and like that 10k extra number, like if I can't get that off, like kind of screwed. Like it just doesn't feel as impactful as the first turn.
So from my school of thought, I want a minimum of grade 3s, and I tend to find them from my draw abilities throughout the game. I believe at this point I had a handful of 3s and 1 trigger.
Okay.
That's why I went into the rear, because I couldn't guard that
true.
Front trigger counterblast skill yet.
Very smart. Yeah, so I ditched a Valiente, and I just found a Valiente. I originally ditched like a crit trigger, but I realized, I had another one of those in my hand. I think I needed the other key pieces, really. One of the big changes my deck did go through, I was running 2 Tenchesteads originally, but there just wasn't enough Counterblast really to go around, and it was just a dead card more often than not, so I put in the 10k boosters and this card too out of the Festival Collection, which is like, it's decent. I feel like it serves its purpose for fueling soul for Vairina, but it'll probably get dropped with set 2.
Really?
Yeah, for the most part. I think they're just additional things that are a little bit better for boosting your Trickstar for the multi-attack, and obviously the new, oh god, what was it? It's the new Vairina. Elgar, yeah. That one is just a counter charger, so there's just more useful things in the deck.
I mean, with Elgar's cost of Soul Blast 2, I do see it kind of being squeaked in, because it is a fuel soul and a free 5k. But that 6k body really hurts. Really hurts.
I think it's the timing kind of thing on it too, because there is now the grade 2 that or grade 1 that when you discard it goes right into soul, so that kind of helps mitigate that problem. As opposed to, you know, this is in battle phase, you have to do it. But it looks like you did ride up into Bastion. You're gonna get that Alden play off again, very, very standard. Nothing too crazy on my turn. I didn't want to dump the thing into soul quite yet. For that Vairina, I think I had like a nice number overall, and I was just like, okay, like I'll save that for next turn, because I think I had another one in my hand. I wanted to do 2 at once and give a 10k to somebody. Alright, finally some targets on field too. And did you Persona ride here? No, this is your first
grade 3 ride. I believe I actually revealed 2 Alden for the Rook skill. I was debating taking that Vairina hit to double Alden, but with that 4-card plus, I genuinely don't think that would have found me enough shield, so we didn't play greedy and tried to grind it through.
Smart play. Ooh, get that front. Alright, nice.
Front stands. That's why we run them.
That was a 2 to pass right there, I believe, yeah. Alden is standing, and then he gets that additional 5k as well. For the second time he attacks. And yeah, we're just going over the numbers here, making sure.
Power, and then with the front trigger, it makes it a weird number 2.
Yeah, I think it was 45. This guy.
Well, let's see.
The second attack, I think, was 45.
Yeah. Yep.
There we go. And I think I really needed that Arcs. That Arcs was like big for me next turn. I didn't have one in hand. I think that was a card I exactly wanted. Oh man. But we do Persona Ride again. Okay. So Persona Ride, it's just. I've seen some profiles, obviously not in Dragon Empire and stuff, but some of this new like Alchemagic stuff, and people are like, oh, you just need to run one, don't worry about it, you get fit more order cards and stuff. Persona Ride, just like a free 10k and a draw, I feel like would be played at a 4 of in any deck. I feel like it's incorrect not to run 4 of the Vanguard that you are trying to ride upon. Obviously, it doesn't have a Persona Ride symbol, which I think all grade 3s have in this game.
Yes, sort of surprisingly.
If there's ever a time they don't create it, obviously you don't want to ride it over and over, but like everybody really has it.
I mean, the only lists I've been seeing actually competitively without maxing Persona Ride is Barrow Magnus, because you don't want to draw through your deck, which kind of makes sense, but you are negging the power for that 15 soul blast out rears.
Yeah, plus the 28k swing on your rears is just like huge in Barrow, but looks like over there I just had a very mundane turn, just give that a little extra 10k swing, take something out, but you do replace it with the Fasado. This was a grindy game, I remember, you know, just taking a little bit easier, didn't want to fall into the Valiente trap again.
Mundane turns, you had a 40k lane and you killed my Alden, that's...
Yeah, but I mean, it's just 2 attacks, it wasn't even 3 attacks, so that's like an issue, and like I didn't have too much, I had a lot of shield in my hand, I was like, okay. Looks like I guarded that.
Boosting with the threat.
The threat. Okay, so you got a stand. There we are. Power and draw. And this was what, a 25k? Because I think you Persona Road? Yeah.
Yeah, 25k on that, 35 on the other.
Guard that guy out.
That draw trigger was huge.
Yeah, it definitely helped a little bit more, for sure. Oh, Persona Rides for everyone. I think that's my final Persona Ride. 1, 2, yeah. That was the last one I think in my deck. So we are trying to, I think, close out here. I don't know if this is the actual turn where I would be able to do it, but in my head I was just like, you know what, I'm going to go not for broke necessarily, but this is probably going to be my final turn. I'm either going to win or die kind of on this. So I did dump from hand here. And since I did Persona Ride, this is going to be a, 16k attack. This is going into...
Such an awkward number to
guard. Weird. Very, very weird. Cool. So we are now going to be 33. This is going to be 39 with the 6k boost. 1 and 2. We do have a crit trigger, so everything is going to go on the big boy. This guy swung, I think, for like 50 or 63, something like that. Maybe 60. Because it's 10k from itself, 10k off the Persona Ride, 10k base.
It looks like 50 unless there's a trigger I'm missing, which could very well be.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, that's where you got the 60,
that's
the double
what it was.
girl.
Yeah. So, tried to make that a little more impactful, but I think you did have a PG, yeah. So at least I got 2 cards out of your hand. I think you were kind of like skimpy from there, and I was like, alright, like I might have just enough to kind of guard this out, I'm not sure, but...
Skimpy, I think it's just the Persona Ride, if I remember correctly. Yep.
Of course. So at least, yeah, every turn I think we've Persona Ride so far.
Yeah.
This was a real, like, anime kind of hand drawing into them. Perfect, so we do get that guy. What is that? That's not Fasado.
That's Refluke. That's the Into Soul.
Yep.
The reason I didn't activate the skill is because I believe my last card is a heal trigger I drew from the Persona Ride.
Of course. I am going to PG that Vanguard swing right there. Had really bad experience this week from just being greedy, not
I was
PGing.
so hyped about the grade 3, I forgot I checked the heal trigger. I was just banking on the 3.
I was like, are you going to heal out?
Assigning powers, making sure everything's hitting for the right number, and then the Fasado on hit is a good skill. I do not understand the hype behind Fasado. Necessary for certain matchups, sure. Not every single deck needs him out of 4 of, and I'm actually thinking about cutting him for space with set 2. Because similar to Valiente, everyone's aware of the on hit, so it never happens. Even in these matches, I don't think I got the on hit once.
Yeah, but that's also not a bad thing, too. You're just baiting them into it. It's not like you really needed the counterblast here anyway. And I feel like between, what's his name? Alden coming down, the grade 3, counterblast 2 reach-down when you hit a trigger. If you're going for like a duel in one of those turns, like that could be kind of tough to set up. So he kind of saves you sometimes with that, but overall, yeah, I know where you're coming from.
2-card hand, double 5 damage. This is... do we both have 2-card hands too?
Something like that. I had a really small hand. But yeah, you think you're at 4 damage here, right?
Yeah. 4 damage from the heal. Yes. Again, I'm forgetting about the heal, and I saw it happen in front of me. That's why.
So now I'm just swinging it for 23 here. So this is a 23. This is 1 to pass.
1 to pass gets the draw.
Ooh.
And the crit.
Is it a crit or a heal?
The glitter is confusing.
I think that's a heal.
Could be a heal. It is a heal. Yeah. Yep.
They all look the same, these maiden things. Alright, perfect.
It's a dancing lady with a symbol in the corner. Retire the crit. No.
Should have just been a man.
One day.
Let's see, is this getting through here? Yeah.
That was
you did heal.
heal.
Yeah, you healed out there. It was, I feel like that happened to me all week. I played someone on locals that healed out 4 times. I was shocked. Shouts out to you, Gary, if you're watching this. What was this? This was big, this last thing.
I believe that was a wasted heal.
Yeah.
The last card in hand is either a 5k at 3. But we'll see shortly. Just from hand language, I don't think I have it. Yeah, I don't have it.
5k off. 5k off. Unfortunate, but yeah, that brings us to game 3 at least. At least it's gonna be a set. So let's hop into that. All right, jumping right into game 3. Overall, it's been like a decent game so far. I feel like we haven't gotten like blown out on our first grade 3 ride like you would in like V or whatever. So a little bit of back and forth is always fun. I feel like you can tell the pace of the game. If Vairina just doesn't get a lot of cards in hand, I feel like just can't stand up to Bastion. Bastion is definitely like, at least in my opinion, best deck out of set 1. I think results pretty much support that. Even though I like Vairina a lot.
I love Bastion. I respect the results Bastion has gotten. However, the lack of variety and just the ride to 3 and blast them out kind of play style, it loses its luster very quickly.
Yeah. Not to say it's like a bad thing to play Bastion, but it's like, everybody, they kind of expect it, and it's like if you lose the Bastion, it's like, whatever. If you win with Bastion, it's like, whatever also, so I don't know. A win with Eugene is much sweeter, let's say.
And as much as everybody's been dunking on Eugene is a horrible matchup for Bastion.
Yeah, taking away a lot of the key pieces. I mean, Fasado can't be selected by...
Fasado can't be selected, no.
But everything else can.
Everything
sometimes
else
that hurts with guarding numbers too.
And it can also be attacked into, and 9 times out of 10 with a handful of 3s, you're not going to have anything to...
That's true. Alright, so it looks like you did go first, so I was able to swing first, giving you just 1 damage there. And let's see, it is your turn. You're going to discard that, the booster dragon.
What trigger will I call this time? Let's see.
Is it a front? No, it's going to be a draw.
It's a trigger, I can tell you that much. It's a front.
It is a front. It was a front.
Crazy times.
I thought there was one game where it was a front, so.
I'm just thankful that hasn't been the over trigger with that ability yet. I know there are some out there more unlucky than I, but oof. takes away all your momentum for your late game pushes.
It really does. When you check it defensively, it's crazy. So I'm going to ride up and get that Trick Star out, which is nice. I like looking at that one. I like the orange is my favorite color, so I really like that they did that background in orange kind of, so. There we are. And am I going to go into the arc display here? I think I did. If I had it, maybe I didn't have it. No, I just went into regular Vairina, so still decently powerful, 20k. Even if he hits a trigger, I think, yeah, we still hit, so it's decent in that regard. No pass off of that, no trigger, and this just becomes a 20k. And you do heal out there, so perfect. That worked out nicely. Very nice. Really not too much variety in the Grey 2 turn, especially for Bastion. Like, you just call down, hope for the best.
Call down, you pray you get something good off the top down.
Yep. For Vairina, you really just either, you know, if you're going a little bit more greedy, maybe drop just that regular Vairina from hand, or possibly a Vairina arcs. Get yourself that advantage, but you never really want to push like full in this deck unless you're running that grade 1 that gets you to 10k. The trial deck maiden in the ride line.
Oh.
And I don't actually run her. I just don't. I don't think the early game kind of rush is the great style for this deck. All right, perfect. We got one.
Oh yeah,
trigger.
the 10k beater on rear. Yeah.
Yep. I played the booster, not the beater.
Mhm.
All right. So this is 25 into my 19, not 20, right?
15. First grade 3 ride.
Oh, right. Oh my god, what am I saying?
The only reason Rafuk has the 10s was it stood from the skill and a trigger was placed.
There we go. Alright, first grade 3 ride, what am I going to ditch here? Alright, able to go into that Nirvana. Getting out a Vairina. These cards honestly really are, I think, I misunderstood in the very beginning, and like I seriously underestimated. Vairina, plain old trial deck 1 is so good. It's just free power, it gets a little bit more control, and I love Narukami and that whole play style, so.
Which is funny, because like for the Dragon Empire shtick, I'm surprised the main character doesn't have more control. It's Eugene that's the control deck.
Yeah.
Which is funny to me.
Definitely. So I did expend a couple cards from hand, so.
Just a solid 5, you know.
Let's get one. Gonna do crit and power on the big guy.
And you got
another
rewarded
crit.
for it. Jeez. Push me up to 4. 1 hit.
Oh boy. So this is 23, 33, 43, 53. I believe.
With the ability to restand, I drew into the over trigger, but both over triggers are now out of play.
Crazy.
The game is now fair.
I know, right?
Once again, taunting him to retire my front, which he never does.
Ah man, one day I'll be a man and do it, but for now I'm gonna retire value. So yeah, you're able to walk away. What was this, 4 damage here? You're still considering a guard on this last one? I forget. I think you take this one.
4 damage right now, considering being pushed to 5. I don't know if I have an Alden in hand or I'm banking on drawing into one. But that was the decision there. Yeah.
I think this turn might spell doom for me. Let's see.
Persona.
Persona's tough. And Bastion, when you Persona, it's really... If you can get a real full field off and whatnot, like, it's really game over.
Which
wow.
I cannot.
Support units are support units.
But with the Persona ride, that's a 15k swing. Takes out a 5k out.
There we go. So I did guard that one out there. That was a 25k attack. And this is 10, 25, 25, 5. This is 30k?
Mm-hmm.
This is an awkward number 2 to guard for me at the moment. I didn't hit a trigger. So it's at least 2 cards to guard. And you have potentially another attack coming through, so let's see what happens here.
The same dilemma. I do see a PG in there. There that is. Alden. Double Alden. Should stand the Dark Strain. Yep. And then 35.
Oh wow, it was only 35 there. I did live another turn actually, wow. Alright, let's ride back into that. Get that 10k there. Let's see, am I just gonna go 2 attackers here? Or am I gonna again just go for broke?
The debate.
Yeah.
Debate to call down a trigger. Ah, yes.
Yep. I said, you know what? We're not getting through it anyway, if not for this. So let's just make that first potential restand threatening kind of attack with Valiente a little bigger with that 10k booster. So 1 and 2, no triggers, which really does suck.
And that was a crit trigger.
Yeah, hitting that extra 10k really helped you. There we go. So I can't hit. I have to go for 10, 15, right? It's
yeah,
just
15. And the Dark Strain, which we guarded. And then we're PGing that. No discard cost because I have 1 card left.
Do get the Alden, nice.
I top decked the Alden. No, I drove checked the Alden prior. That's not a grade 3, so it's not worth counter busting 2 and soul blasting 1 for no reason. And that is just a 15. Again, Dark Strain, love running him in multiple copies and putting him out into the front. He'll soak up a hit or 2 because they want to get him off the field because most lists run him at a 2 of. Tried to make room for 3.
I think I still run him at 4. I feel like it's just so necessary to see. It's just like that another aspect of just smothering your opponent with huge numbers. So that was that the final swing? No, I think I needed to take this Bastion hit here. There we go. So 1. All right, so you had a restand. Even if you didn't kill me, even if I healed out here, yep, which I did not, that still would have stood again. So overall, the numbers just really crazy.
Swarm the board with friends.
Yeah, overall, I think it was a fun match. I think it definitely highlighted some of the reliance on a not so great card in Dragon Empire. Obviously, Bastion 2 just, attacking for big numbers multiple times over and over is just really nice. The lack of guard didn't really come up here too much because I think just multiple times I didn't have a third attacker. A lot of my turns were just 2 attacks to see what I could do. So not even having 3 attacks really hurts.
And it wasn't as lopsided as the rhetoric would, seem. Like, oh my god, Bastion just steamrolls everybody. It can. It has the capacity to.
Yeah, for sure.
Seeing numbers back at it really hurts. And 2 numbers decks going at it really prolong the games.